And a very pleasant good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network, brought to you by Sarver Paving. We welcome you to Arrow Arena here at Ashland High School for girls varsity action this evening between the Ashland Arrows and the visiting Lady Lexington Minutemen. Tonight's game also brought to you by our friends at Headstrom Entertainment, having unplugged fun for over 40 years. David Wilson along with Chris Mowry, and here we are. It is sort of a frightful night outside, but we've got a varsity game here tonight. Chris, it's OCC action between the Arrows and their rival Lady Lex, and the Arrows continue their great start, 4-0.
Yeah, hey, anytime you welcome in Lex from Richland County, it doesn't matter if it's swimming and diving or soccer, baseball in the spring, basketball we have tonight between two, I'll say rivals. I'll leave it there, David. It goes back a lot of years, decades on decades. So anytime the Arrows or the Minutemen, for that matter, welcome one of the other schools into their home territory, they certainly have getting a W right on tap.
This is the Countdown to Tip-Off Show. It's brought to you by Simonson Construction Services, serving Ashland and North Central Ohio for over 50 years. And, well, you go back to Saturday, Chris, it was a great win for the Arrows against Worcester in OCC place. They're 2-0 in the league, but that was a fairly lopsided win, 59-34. And the Arrows defense took a toll early on the Generals.
Yeah, that's one thing I talked about quite a bit, David. I was kind of a broken record, but hey, anytime you get a defensive performance like that, you've got to celebrate it, because any coach, it doesn't matter what sport it is, whether, again, it's baseball or softball, football, what have you, they say defense travels. And defense, whether you're home on the road, when it travels, it goes along. And if the Arrows can replicate, now look, let's be honest, Worcester isn't going to be at the top of the OCC, but they're not a bad team by any stretch. But if the Arrows can even play half as good a defense against the upper echelon in the OCC, and then come tournament time, boy, you've got to like your chances here with this squad making a nice run here into February.
Kennedy Lacey led the way on Saturday with 19 points. She had a nice game. She was 8 of 16 from the floor, so a good shooting day for Kennedy Lacey. But Cam Cox, she was our player of the game, Chris, 13 points, and you had a pretty good feel for what was going on Saturday. We didn't keep rebounds live as it happened, but we guessed 15, and she grabbed 15 boards.
Do I get a prize?
You should.
Can I get the Applebee's gift card for that guess?
Just award it to yourself.
Thank you. How about that? Cam Cox, 15 boards. I'd like to know, and I don't have this stat, but it'd be neat to know how many games she's had since her freshman year of 15 boards or higher. She got another one in that tally mark for her. But, you know, the key for her, and I said it, you know, on the broadcast on Saturday, and it's worth repeating, when she stays out of foul trouble and she's on the floor at the coach's discretion for the amount of time that she's available to play throughout the contest, this is a different squad that has a presence with that in and out game. You heard the players and the coaches all talk about that in to out game with a nice three-point shot, or Cam taking it to the rack. She's really, really a dangerous player for this Arrows offense and defense for that matter.
There are 13 points, 15 boards. 9 of those rebounds were offensive rebounds. Whew. And she comes into tonight's game averaging a double-double. This is the Countdown to Tip-Off Show. It's brought to you by Simonson Construction Services, serving Ashland and North Central Ohio for over 50 years. Let's go to those standings and records, Chris. As we get closer to tip-off, we're about 7 minutes away from the start of tonight's game between Ashland and Lexington. Our standings report brought to you by Whitaker Myers, providing solutions for your insurance benefits and wealth management needs since 1869, with offices in Ashland and the aforementioned Worcester. 3 games tonight, make it 4 games in addition, and counting the Lexington-Ashland game. Senior is at Madison tonight, so a big battle there between the rivals. West Holmes is at Worcester, and New Philadelphia is on the road at Dover. New Philly, 5-0. They're 3-0 in the league. Ashland right behind at 2-0 and 4-0 overall. So those are the 2 unbeatens, and in an essential tie for first. Madison 1-1, Dover 1-1, Worcester 1-1. West Holmes is 0-1, but they are 0-4 overall. This Lexington outfit 0-4, 0-2 in conference play, and Mansfield Senior 0-2 and 0-4 in league play as well. So you've got some teams that are really struggling, including this Lexington team. Chris, first-year coach Abby David with a big job in front of her. one, trying to coach the team in real time, but also trying to rebuild interest. They do not have a JV team. Their numbers are down. They have 9 players on the roster. I see only 8 warming up.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You think of Lexington and the storied history they have both on all the boys' side sports and the girls' side sports. And to show up to an away contest and not have a JV game to watch as we set up for this broadcast, it's just mind-boggling, to be very frank. And something you don't see here very often from the Minutemen and especially Lady Lex and whatnot. But, hey, that's where we find ourselves. You know, Coach David takes over for a legacy over there in Richland County in the Lexington School District, the Stover clan. And Gabby Stover has since resigned her position as head coach. Her brother, as you know, plays tight end for the Houston Texans. And her sister, Tatum Stover, will be a senior here on this Lexington squad here tonight. So we'll get a good glimpse of her. She's a shockingly good athlete. I'm sure that's going to surprise everybody, right?
Abby David is a Malone graduate. Played her college ball there after graduating from Woodridge High School. 1,300 points in her high school career. She's a member of that high school Hall of Fame. She's a former varsity volleyball coach in Parma, but has kind of gone back to her first love, which is basketball, and has taken over the Lexington program here in her first season. But Chris, let's go to some keys to the game now, and let's think about what might be big factors. Start with the arrows.
Yeah, for sure. Keys to the game brought to us by our hometown vision leader, Ashland Eye Care, proud AHS alum. Dan Denbo will handle all your vision needs. And a PSA for the day concerning Ashland Eye Care. They've moved. You know that. You've been to their location. It's now right next to Wendy's on Claremont Avenue. I visited him yesterday there, and beautiful new building. So congratulations to the staff and Dr. Denbo at Ashland Eye Care on a nice new building there. Keys to the game, look, for the arrows is very simple. Be yourselves. You're going to hear me say that a lot this year when I'm with you on these telecasts, because if the arrows are themselves, they're a dangerous outfit, right? They can run it up and down the floor, they can shoot the 3, they can pop it down on the block, get some easy 2-point goals from close, etc. On the other side for the Minutemen, or Lady Lex, as I should have referenced, look, it's David and Goliath today, right? You're 0-0 for the season. You've got down numbers. You can't even go live in practice, let's be honest. You're playing 4-on-4 or 4-on-5 in practice. Maybe the coach, David, steps in or some of the staff to at least get some replicatable 5-on-5 drills. So, as you mentioned, for Lexington this year, it's a rebuilding campaign. But, you're still trying to teach. You're still trying to, create excitement for the kids that are in junior high school and freshmen, and wanting those girls to come out here as they get a little further. So, for Lex, I think the reality is it's just a building campaign. Play hard. Don't give up. Play with pride. Wear that Lex on your chest with pride, and see where the chips fall.
Well, they are averaging just 25% shooting from the floor. So in talking with Coach David a little earlier this week, she says, hey, one of my things is to just tell these girls, hey, the shots will start to fall at some point. They're taking good shots, just not hitting a lot of them right now. So at some point, the law of averages will catch up for some of these players. And I'm sure that's tough from just a mental standpoint to stay positive, and that's one thing that she's trying to do.
Sure.
We are coming to you from the Priest Dental broadcast booth. Priest Dental is your hometown dental leader. Proud AHS alum Kevin Priest and his team will handle all of your dental needs. Before we go any further, Chris, I want to give a shout out to Garth Boyd, the IT guru who's really helped us out tonight. We have Rich Story, who's going to help us out on camera. We want to wish our good friend Brandon Gunder, who's usually here at the controls. He's a little under the weather, a little illness, so we wish him the best. I doubt he's tuned in right now. Hopefully he's fast asleep, but we hope we'll get Brandon back here pretty soon. But a team effort tonight.
Yes. And I hat tip to each one of these men as well, and you as well for joining us. Excited as always to bring Aero Athletics live, courtesy of the Ashland Aeros Broadcasting Network, presented by Sarver Paving, to everyone around the country and frankly around the world. If you can get a web address and it's not locked out, you can watch it anywhere.
You see warm-ups going on right now. Again, some hardy fans coming out into the elements tonight. We're getting a little snow in the Ashland area, but this is a midweek ball game, and an important one as the Arrows try to continue to stay in the unbeaten ranks. Just a reminder that our game day guests throughout the season here on the Arrows Broadcasting Network, brought to you by Whitcomb and Hess. They have all of your needs covered. Plan, grow, thrive Financial advisors and CPAs will help you grow your business and investments throughout your lifetime. We appreciate their great sponsorship of Arrows basketball. Also, this reminder, fans, that the official watch location for Arrow Athletics is the South Street Grill. It's your home to catch the Arrows. If you aren't able to attend in person, South Street will carry Arrows basketball all season long in the lower level bar area. Starters are coming up, as well as our injury report. Fans are rising here in Arrow Arena. We'll pause as well for the playing of our Star Spangled Banner.
At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America and all of our service men and women with the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
There's a slight delay in the playing of our anthem. Chris, I don't know if you want to maybe just lead the crowd in the singing.
You'll do that later on in the month of December with Aiden Chandler. He'll be happy to rip
That's right.
off Star Spangled Banner.
He is an excellent singer.
I think Dan Chandler's going to go ahead and let her rip there. Maybe not.
The Ashland players are thinking about it. One of our officials gave Cam Cox the option. I think she turned it down just as you did, Chris.
Yeah, pretty quickly. Can't say I blame him.
Now we see Garth Boyd. He's going to maybe try to help out down there as well.
Listen, if you play a game of Jeopardy, the reality is Garth Boyd's probably the answer for everything. He's Mr. Fix-It.
All right, our national anthem presented by Chandler Systems, Inc., locally owned and operated right here in Ashland, Ohio for over 40 years. Quick look at the injury report, Chris. I think the Arrows in pretty good shape injury-wise.
Yeah, first off, thanks to Dan Chandler for jumping on the mic there. He's no stranger to a microphone, so he jumped on there and sang the national anthem. So thanks to Dan Chandler. No relation to our sponsor of the presenting the national anthem, Chandler Systems, Inc. Yeah, injury report brought to us by Fickus Furniture down there in Dromesville. I say it every time. You want a new chair? Don't go to Home Depot. You want a new flooring? Don't go to Home Depot. You want new cabinets? Don't go to Lowe's. Go down to Fickus Furniture. Check them out. They've got everything you need. Mark Fickus and his staff do a great job for you. And just a little breaking news, it's going to be less expensive than it is at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatnot. So go check them out down there at Dromesville. Yeah, David, as you mentioned, there's no issue here injury-wise for the Arrows in this early campaign, which is fantastic to know. And it's a great sign. And as I said last Saturday, let's just hope it stays that way here for head coach Renee Holt and her staff.
All right, Chris, let's check those starting lineups. They're brought to you by Truly Inspired Paper Company for all of your paper needs and wedding invitations to business cards and everything in between. Truly Inspired Paper Company in Ashland and Loudonville. For the Lady Lex, coached by Abby David, expected to go with Audrey Wendling at one guard. She's a 5'4" sophomore. Lauren Risser, a 5'6" senior, will start at a guard position. Carly Ann Hughes, a 5'6" junior, will start in the backcourt. Tatum Stover will run the point. She's a 5'9" senior. And their freshman post, Sophia Brown, gets the start. She's 5'11" and averaging, like Cam Cox, a double-double, 15 points and 11.5 rebounds. Windling, Risser, Hughes, Stover, and Brown are the expected starters for the Lady Lex. For Ashland tonight, and head coach Renee Holt, Madison Hoffman will get the start at one guard spot. Grace Tobias will run the point. She's a 5'4" senior. Kennedy Lacey at one forward spot, a 5'10" junior, averaging 21 a game. CC Story will get the start at the third guard position. She's 5'5" and a junior. And Cameron Cox in the post, 6'1" senior, averaging 10 points, 10.5 rebounds per contest. Hoffman, Tobias, Lacey, Story, and Cox. Those are your truly inspired paper company starters for tonight's game. Chris, who will make the impartial calls in tonight's game?
The impartial calls are brought to us by our friends at 419 Barbershop in downtown Ashland. Matt Trukovich and his squad down there will get you looking fresh, high and tight. Check them out, make an appointment, go down and check them out downtown Ashland at 419 Barbershop. Kirby Kaiser, Greg Pyatt, and Henry Vine. I might be saying that a couple times tonight. You never know. We'll be doing the whistle duties here inside Aero Arena.
Henry is the lead man on that three-man crew. And so we are just about set for basketball this evening. The Arrows will be in their home white uniforms trimmed in black and orange. And Lexington in their traveling purple uniforms trimmed in white and gold. Upcoming tip-off and the team colors served up by Linway Restaurant, quality food and fine service since 1951. Now, this is the type of game, Chris, you could call it a trap game, probably might not rise to that level with the struggles that Lexington has had, but regardless, if you're Ashland, you've got to come out. You can't take a team lightly. You've got to get off to a good start, just the way they did on Saturday. Yeah,
absolutely. Kennedy Lacey jumps center circle against Tatum Stover. We're underway. CC Sturry has the basketball.
All right, here we go. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network, presented by Sarver Paving. Our first quarter brought to you by our great sponsor and friend at Comfort Control. Trap down low. Story gets it to Cox. She goes up strong, draws a foul from the aforementioned freshman center, Sophia Brown.
How about that transition, David, and the Arrows moving the basketball. Lacey gets it on the high block and then takes a dribble down, kicks it back out to the elbow, back down to trailing Cameron Cox, gets the basketball, goes to the goal, 2 Minutemen. They are on her. She draws the foul. She'll go to the Connery Manufacturing stripe for 2.
Arrows at 55% from the foul line so far through 4 games. That one a little short, and she has one more shot coming. No score yet in the ball game, just 20 seconds in. Cox now 2 of 8 from the line on the year. Second one too strong, but an offensive rebound. That's taken over by Hoffman. Cox from the corner. Nice pass underneath. That's Tobias. She puts it up and in. That's the way the scoring begins this evening. Grace Tobias averaging 3 a game. 2-zip Arrows.
Perfect job by Cameron Cox. Eyes up. Coaches say that all the time. Get your eyes up and you can see what's happening. She found Grace Tobias cutting to the goal. Easy bucket there for Ashland.
That was a nice delivery. This is Stover. Long 3. No. And out of bounds. Last to touch it, Cameron Cox. Stover, kind of an interesting story. She was their starting post player last year and has now transitioned into a point guard.
Well, the one thing about that transition, David, you don't want to be turning the basketball over. She's your most sure-handed ball handler. You're going to run her at point even if you're giving something up down on the block.
Ball knocked out of bounds after the miss by Brown. It'll stay Lexington ball. They scatter, they bounce it into Brown. Kick out to Stover. Jumper, Hughes, off the mark, weak side rebound, and out for another 3, and this one good by Tatum Stover. That is her first 3-pointer of the year. She had been 0 of 15 But that one goes down, and it's 3-2 Lexington. And a nice job by Kennedy Lacey on a second effort.
Mamba right on the spot, right at the right time. Offensive glass puts it back up for 2.
4-3 Arrows. Brown out front to Risser. Back down to Brown, muscles it up, not there. Offensive rebound, this is Wendling. Now to Hughes. Arrows in the man-to-man. Clock is not moving. Stuck on 7:01 right now.
I've been on the 7:01 in California.
Yeah, we're on it right now. Stolen away by Tobias. The officials have not noticed. I'm surprised by that. Cox, nice bounce pass Lacey. She scores. 6-3 Arrows. Stover will walk it up. I don't think it was a malfunction. They just forgot to start it.
Yeah, you know, stat padding.
A little extra time. Well, the Arrows force a turnover. That ball was knocked away, I believe, by Story, and it goes off the leg of Stover. And so now I think they're going to take a look at where we are in the first quarter. 6:43 is on the clock. And I think the officials will talk about it. We'll have another broadcast for you 1 week from tonight. Girls will be here against Mansfield-Madison. And we've got plenty more coming up as this season heats up.
We'll be here for that, too. We'll have the Madison Arrows game next Wednesday here live from the Pre-Dental broadcast booth.
Now, the big game for the Arrows is coming up on the road Saturday, Chris, when they will play at New Philadelphia. That'll be a night game on Saturday. They come into tonight's game both undefeated in the conference and on the season. And New Philly is playing at Dover tonight. 2-1 on the year and 1-1 in the league.
And you talk about a rivalry, that New Philly and Dover, it doesn't matter what sport it is, it could be playing checkers, and that's a serious rival. So just like us tonight with Lexington here, Dover and New Philly having their rivalry contest tonight as well.
Hoffman, drive to the basket, blocked. That was Stover who knocked the ball away, and then an immediate tie-up, and I think that will go to Lex. They will take over. Very short bench for Abby David. First-year coach. 8 active players came over here. Stover forcing the action and throws it away. She was looking for Wendling in the corner. Turnover Lex, 6-3 Arrows, 5:25 to go here in quarter number 1. They retrieve the basketball.
Hat tip to all the fans who came out today in that 20-degree weather and slushy roads.
Hoffman off to Cox, running the offense up top right now, inside to Lacey. Hoffman driving, left side, uses the glass. Big shots brought to you by Coldwell Banker and Ward Real Estate for all of your real estate needs right here in Ashland, Ohio. Hoffman with her first bucket, and now Cox with a block shot, the rejection out of bounds.
How about that Hoffman off the glass, up and under, and gets the side English on it on the outside of the white painted circle, and it goes down. Beautiful shot from Madison Hoffman.
She had 8 points and 3 rebounds Saturday, Chris. Those are not big gaudy numbers, but she had a solid game and also comes in averaging 4.5 assists per game.
Yeah, she's a terrific basketball player, all-around player these days here for Ashland. Head coach Renee Holden. You know, look, the coaches in Ohio, the state of Ohio, recognized her play last year, named her an All-Ohioan. Quite an honor.
Out to Hoffman, on cue, no. Off the back iron and a long rebound. Cox saves it in bounds, and it'll be taken over by Lexington. Here comes Stover. Head of steam to the right block, throws it up, and no good, but a charging foul taken by Story. Stover with her first, team foul number 2.
Rich Sturry has a beautiful look at that zoomed-in shot there of his daughter, Cece Sturry, taking the charge. That's the 5th charge taken inside the Sturry house in a lifetime.
Cox for 3 on the left. No, Hoffman, weak side rebound, and she'll work into some space on the right. Tobias wants to drive. Lacey at 3-point range, and she will launch and miss everything. Cox, offensive rebound. Story, high arcing 3, no. And Sophia Brown secures the ball. And here come the Lady Lex. Steal by Story on the takeaway. Tobias running the court. Left-hand layup down the hatch.
Terrific job of Phil on the lane there for Grace Tobias, and a nice up-look pass from CC Sturry on that assist. And we find ourselves with a timeout, a Connery Manufacturing timeout, 10-3 Ashland lead.
Connery Manufacturing for your pump system needs. 10-3 AHS, 7-point lead, a little over halfway through the first quarter. Again, our first quarter brought to you by Comfort Control, providing the best comfort for residential and commercial customers for more than 40 years.
Well, David, the best player in the gym has just arrived, and this lady is not in uniform.
Okay.
That would be known as Eagle Hall of Famer and teammate of Renee Holt, Jody Johnson.
Okay.
Has just arrived with her family, a young little guy, her son, and here to take in the Arrows contest. She was quite a player there at AU.
He's very cute.
Yeah.
He's excited to be here.
3:53 to go in the Comfort Control first quarter. Arrows commanding lead. Look, it hadn't been the prettiest. We missed a little couple shots in there, but the effort play and the hustle play, you can tell it's a rivalry game. Arrows all over the basketball floor.
Arrows will show some pressure. Brown helps out, middle of the court. Nice pass to Stover. Goes in 1-on-3, lost it. Ball near the Ashland bench, and a steal by Cox, who went to the deck. Fast break for the Arrows. Pull up, and it's perfect by Hoffman. She has 4 points.
Right on cue, David. Cameron Cox on the deck, as you referenced it, and the Arrows fighting for all these loose balls. Good job. That's charge number 2. The 6th charge taken inside the Sturry house, and they're all owned by CC Sturry.
She looks over to the bench, gets a lot of claps, and she will give a smile, and she'll get a breather here. Get some Sid Suds substitutions for Ashland.
She's probably going to be the recipient of a blizzard from Dairy Queen later.
See Hartman and Hendershot both in. And I believe Van Tilburg is checked in as well for Ashland, the first round of subs. Here's Lacey, easy shot, left side of the lane. Knocks that one down. She has half a dozen. By the way, over the 800-point mark on Saturday. 14-3. Ashland on a 12-0 run. That ball knocked out of bounds, and looked like it was Hartman to touch it last. We had Stover hit that 3 for a 3-2 lead. It's been all Ashland since.
Arrows having her way. There you saw Randy Emmons on this camera there. Rich Sturry gets a nice shot of him as he's walking in.
Hoffman circling, had the shot blocked on the floor, tie up, and this one will go to Lexington.
See, David, you just never know with these contests. You never know what you're going to have. And you got a substitute cameraman to thank him for his efforts today, and we get a Randy Emmons view as he's walking to his seat. It's great. You never know what you're going to find on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network.
Real treat for the viewers, but Rich just framing this game up like a pro.
Yeah.
This is Wendling. Slides it down to Stover. Nice entry pass into Brown. She got fouled going up. They'll get Hendershot on the foul. Her first, team's first. And Sophia Brown to the line, a 42% foul shooter on the year. Again, Lexington has had their troubles shooting the basketball. They're averaging only 27.5 points a game, giving up 48 on average. First shot good, and Brown has her first point. It's 14-4. They played and lost at home against Dover on Saturday. It was a pretty close game, Chris, 36-29. So
wow.
They were getting close in that game. Nice shot.
That brought snowflakes.
It's both, 14-5. Arrows in a hurry. Lacey in the left wing had it knocked away. Story picks it up. Lacey, stop and pop, left side, no. That ball knocked out of bounds. Brindley Learsman in for Lexington off the bench. Again, they don't have a whole lot of subs to go to. Cox and Tobias back in. I think Hendershot and Hartman will sit. We'll also see Gracie Reese check in. She's a 5'3" sophomore for Lexington. Full court pressure here. It is Lexington ball. 2 minutes and change to go here in the first quarter. Reese with her first touch and a bad pass. Stolen away. Van Tilburg, crossover dribble, throws it up off the glass, no good. Cox. Van Tilburg, entry into Cox. The turnaround won't go. Another effort, and she scores. The persistence pays off. That's her first 2.
And 2 more offensive glass for Cameron Cox. How about you? Just a Hoover vacuum cleaner down there on the offensive side.
Driving, Stover, blocking foul called against Story. She tried to take another charge, and she's a little slow getting up this time as Stover went in with a head of steam.
I think that thud was the back of her back and head there, David. She took a freight train coming from Tatum Stover.
Well, 5 for Stover. Story gets the blocking foul.
She's tough. She's a Story.
Gonna walk over toward the side, and I think Hoffman will come back in. Gonna take Story over to the side, maybe back to the locker room for the training staff. Stover will have a chance for a 3-point play. Here comes the shot, and she made it. So she has half a dozen to lead the Lex side. And it's a 16-8 ball game. Not sure what the delay was here.
I've had a few of them tonight, David.
Okay, they inbound. Tobias, Van Tilburg, Hoffman, Cox on the court with Lacey. She has the ball right now in amongst 3 Lex players. Misses the shot, draws the foul. See those 3 who got it. Flashed up the number so quick I couldn't tell. Learsman. That's her first. Team foul number 4 here in the first quarter. 1:24 on the clock. Shot no good. One more coming for Lacey, who was in the act of shooting.
Lacey, a 50% foul shooter this season, and you know, one part of her game that we talked about that has been a big focus of hers is converting these easy single-point tosses here.
Her 10th attempt of the year, and she knocks that one down. She has lucky 7. It is 17-8. Lexington trying to handle the full court pressure, and for the most part, they've done a pretty good job. Reese, a bad pass, and it goes off the legs of Sophia Brown, the freshman.
Yeah, that was a rocket right at the shins, David. Not really good opportunity to handle that one. Got a blackout here with the student section down here underneath the hoop on the Arrows home side.
A little reserved so far, but they're here. Tobias to Van Tilburg. Hoffman thought about driving baseline, got shut off. Pass was tipped. Van Tilburg comes up with it. Back to Hoffman for 3. Yes. She has 7. That's a BB&C Car Care 3. Gives the Arrows 20 in the first quarter.
20 points. You think about how many we've left at the foul stripe and how many bunnies underneath we've missed. It could be a 25, 28-point quarter easily.
No question. Reese tries to hit a teammate on the back cut. That was Stover, and a timeout is taken here by Abby David.
That's exactly what we talked about last broadcast, David, is just getting your hands up in the passing lanes. You saw Josie Van Tilburg do a nice job. She was kind of going there. The Lex was behind her, Lady Lex, backdoor cut. She got her hands up the passing lane, and kicks that out of bounds, forces Coach David to call a timeout.
Arrows threes this year brought to you by BB&C Car Care. Don't walk, keep your car running smoothly with regular oil changes at BB&C Car Care. So some developing stories here. A little concerned over CC Story, who took a tumble after a collision. She's back in the locker room right now, so we'll hopefully have some good news to report on that. She had already taken 2 charges and a near third, but the last one was a little more on the violent side and hit the deck pretty hard, so hopefully she will be back. 7 early points for both Hoffman and Lacey. And Cox again tonight, Chris, dishing out assists, rebounds. Saw her on the floor gathering in a loose ball.
Yeah, so the offensive rebounds and the offensive glass. There you get a shot of the Lacey family. Bo Lacey, construction owner Kevin Lacey, his wife Bridget, all Ohio middle linebacker Gunnar Lacey there, and then get a nice pan shot of the crowd. But yeah, Cameron Cox doing a great job, and you know, it's really fun to see her, and she's staying, what do we talk about, out of foul trouble. She's not got any fouls here throughout the first quarter, you know, with 32 seconds to go, and she's available at will here for head coach Renee Holt. Big deal here for this Ashland team.
Stover, entry pass looking for Brown, and a foul there against Cox.
Bouncer's curse.
Her first, team foul number 2, make it 3. Story has 1, Hendershot has 1, and now Cox with her first. Stover to shoot, missed Brown, the rebound, put back blocked by Cox, and the takeaway. Starts the break with a pass to Hoffman. Circles back out to Lacey. Van Tilburg, nice bounce pass to Cox, drew the foul, and for Brown, that will be her 3rd foul.
3 fouls early here for the 5'11" freshman starter for head coach Abby David. Boy, you got to think with only 8 players dressed, that's going to be vital here and a big issue here for Lex as they go on.
Cox 2 shots. One more coming, 20-8. Well, she leaves now, and Lauren Risser comes back in off the bench. So Brown on the bench, we'll see how long. She really is their entire offensive approach, 15 points a game. Second shot not there. Saved inbounds to Reese. Cox trying to take over, and Hoffman ends up with the ball on the turnover, and she'll launch a long 3, and no good at the buzzer, and that brings us to the end of quarter number 1. 20-8, Ashland off to a good start against the winless Minutemen. 20-8, we'll get second quarter play-by-play going after we pause for this timeout. Welcome back to Aero Arena. About to head into the second quarter. Just a reminder that our official watch location for Arrows athletics all season long is South Street Grill. It's your home to catch the Arrows if you aren't able to attend in person. South Street will carry Arrows basketball all season long in the lower level bar area. Checking that Simonson Construction scoreboard, 20-8 Ashland. Pretty good first quarter, Chris.
Yeah, really good. I mean, anytime you put 20 points on the board, you're on pace for 80 for crying out loud, and hold your opponent to 8. You're doing things really well. And this Arrows squad shot well from the perimeter, shot well overall. And, but some of those close buckets, Grace Tobias with another layup here, her 6th point of the night, does a really nice job of getting the, entry pass and taking it right to the rack.
Grace Tobias just sort of weaved through traffic there. Threw it up and in. That's Risser. Might have dragged her pivot foot. They call her on a travel. 7.5 to go, second quarter. First half action here at Aero Arena. Hoffman through traffic. Throws it up over Brown, who's back in with 3 fouls. Shot wouldn't go in. Lacey hustles and gets the board. Brown is going to have to play some pretty careful defense to not pick up a 4th foul. Put back by Hoffman. She has 9.
Followed her shot. Something you learn on the park, at the local park. follow your shots. She did a great job, Madison Hoffman, right there.
Good things will happen. Brown misses. Lacey the board. Ahead to Cox. And the left-hand layup not there. Brown yanks down the board. Tatum Stover. Left wing. Pass to Risser. Now it's Wendling. Bounce pass Brown. Works in on Cox. Got turned around, kind of an awkward pass back out to Wendling. And she's in trouble in the corner. It's taken away by Tobias. Picked her pocket. 24-8 arrows. Van Tilburg down low. Shot no good by Lacey, and the defensive board by Carly Ann Hughes.
You know, for head coach Abby David, you're stuck. Do you want to run? Do you want to slow it down? I mean, there's just nothing. They're trying to go quick. They're trying to go slow. It's just nothing's really working here, you know, for this Lady Lex squad tonight. You've got passes that are going off the legs, out of bounds, and, you know, it's just tough. But, you know, again, like we said in the pregame, you just got to keep your head up. You got to keep working and trying to get better.
Stover, the turnaround won't go. Brown, offensive rebound, will kick it out. Now Stover for three. A little short. That one's headed out of bounds. Well, that time they did move it around, got a pretty good look. Hendershot comes in, and Hoffman will get a breather. Another Sid Sudds substitution.
Much deserved breather. She's played really well here tonight. Madison Hoffman, 9 points so far, 5:38 to go in the comfort control second quarter.
Yeah, leading all scorers with 9. Lacey close behind with 7. Tobias has 6. Josie Van Tilburg running the point. There's Lacey. Guarded by Stover, got right by her and to the rack and missed it. Cox, the putback, no. And they'll get Lacey over the back. Her first, team foul number 1 this quarter.
What do you think of the revision here with the fouls resetting after each quarter? What's your thoughts on that?
I've always liked it. I was glad when it came to the college women's game. I just think it's a real nice way to do it. I've been a proponent of the men's game going to quarters for a long time too. I think it works really well.
Takes the strategy. First year it happened, man, did it change the strategy and complexion of the basketball game?
You know, I don't think very many people come to games to see 1-and-1s.
No, I agree with you, 1,000%.
It's a little cleaner. It's just a cleaner way to do it. You know, men's college basketball is the only level of basketball in the world that doesn't play quarters. Every other European basketball, you name it.
Yeah.
High school, pro. Out there for Brown. That's going to go to Ashland.
And I think you're seeing what head coach David is saying to herself and what the reality is for this Lady Luck squad. 3 fouls on Sophia Brown, the 5'11 freshman. She's on the floor, and not for just a little bit of time, but she's on the floor basically the entire game here. You know, they're saying, hey, we need you on the floor. You've got 3 fouls. Try to be smart, but it shows you the depth of Lexington. And
she's still battling underneath, no question. But has to be very careful here defensively. Here's Hoffman for 3. No. And there's Brown grabbing the board. She's got some talent.
Yes.
Just a very young player.
Got to be a player here, Sophia Brown.
Stover, no. And Hoffman, another board. Lacey, nice pass ahead for Tobias. Broken up, but Tobias still manages to get it and knocks it home. She has 8. 26-8 Ashland. 4:18 and counting here. Second quarter here at Arrow Arena. Brown to the hoop, blocked.
Not today, David. Lacey says, no, 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 not in the painted area. She slaps that one out of bounds.
She just kind of came out of nowhere. I see Story is back, headed to the Ashland bench. Stover for 3 on the right. A little too strong. Tipped out of bounds. I think that will go to Ashland. Tobias will bring it up. She has 8 points. Came in averaging 3 a game. See Edgar check in momentarily. Cox aboard after the miss. Tobias Cross court to Hoffman. To the rim, lays it up off the glass and in. The bank shot brought to you by Coldwell Banker Ward Real Estate. And Hoffman in double figures with 11.
Yeah, a nice job here by Madison Hoffman. 11 with still 3:30 to go in the second quarter. She's playing really, really well and playing aggressive, getting the ball to the rack and taking those, high percentage shots.
Cox cross court, skip pass to Hendershot, return favor. Hoffman, left wing, perfect. 14 points for Madison Hoffman, the senior.
In fuego tonight, David, off the fingertips of Madison Hoffman. Nice job from her, shooting the basketball really, really well. Great rotation, nice arc, beautiful shot tonight.
Arrows have scored the last 15. Cox will pick up a foul here on a reach-in. That's her second. So Ediger will check in with Josie Van Tilburg. I think Tobias will come to the bench.
Josie Van Tilburg in for Ashland.
And Hartman comes out as well. Non-shooting foul. Stover coaxes it up on the rim. It will not fall. She hit a 3 earlier and has since not been able to get it to give her a favorable roll. Ediger driving, hits Brown, kicks it back out, and Hoffman has it. 2:30 to go before halftime. Just inside the arc. That one does not strike iron. Lexington will bring it back the other way. This will be a night that Renee Holt will be able to rest her starters probably the entire second half if she so chooses.
Yeah, for sure. A nice job here of her, an opportunity to get some, some reserves, some playing time in a meaningful conference contest.
Audrey Wendling for Lexington out near the center circle. 2:12 and counting. 31-8. AHS. Crouching in the man-to-man. This is Risser. Jumper, right side. Not there for Leersman. The long rebound run down by Cox.
So that's smart, David. Cox goes and gets the rebound for a little stat padding.
Lacey spinning and in the lane a little too long. You get the 3-second call.
David, let's keep a tally. Just like when Matt Underwood, my buddy Matt Underwood, used to have a quarter jar with Rick Manning for when they said Indians, we'll do the same thing for the number of 3-second calls we see all season long. We might not break $2. Yeah. Might not break $1.
I don't know when a 3-second violation became like a 6-second violation.
Or
that's
more.
What they count now.
Or more.
Yeah.
It's hardly called ever. I don't understand it, but one of the NBA things and college things that have made its way to high school, I guess.
There's Brown right under the bucket. Pump fake, missed the shot. Got her own miss though. Tried to throw it back out to Stover, and it's up for grabs. Players hit the deck, and it'll be a tie-up. Lexington will keep it. 1.5 minutes to go.
94 seconds to go. Arrows up by a bunch.
When you brought up the quarter jar, I was afraid somehow I said Eagles.
No, that's Wells too.
Yeah.
He's like, duh. So when I won't do this to you, but BW, I would. I'd always say Eagles intentionally a couple times, and they'd be like, it was a good conversation off air.
Really confusing.
If you're listening, BW down there in sunny North Carolina, hat tip to you.
Carly-Ann Hughes will give Brown a breather. 1:21 to go before halftime. 31-8. Again, Lexington has had trouble hitting shots. That's been the story of their season so far. They're 0-4. This is Hartman. Now Lacey pumps it up there, hit the iron, went halfway down, came back out. Jumper on the way, Hendershot no. Tatum Stover grabs it for Lexington. Under a minute to go now in the second quarter. Arrows up big, 31-8. Foul on the way up the court. I think they got Van Tilburg on a reach. Well, Brown got a very quick breather. Now she's going to replace Hughes.
Sophie Brown returns for Lady Lex.
Again, Abby David in her first year.
Grace Tobias in for the year.
Tobias comes back in. Ediger leaves.
Just 8 points for Lexington, 6 of them from Tatum Stover. That's tough, David. It's, you know, you're only getting 4 points a quarter on average.
Tough.
My goodness. Which is basically their season average, let's be honest. They're getting 27 and a half a night, you know. It's,
you know, in this era, you build most of your offense around 3-pointers, and th're shooting 8% on the year.
Ocho.
Tough. But again, she was mentioning that when we talked to her earlier this week. Just have to keep shooting.
Yeah,
Keep shooting and try to get good shots, and they'll start to fall. This is Lacey, up and in.
Kennedy Lacey.
9 for Kennedy Lacey.
Her first bucket of the second quarter.
Working our way through the final 30 seconds of the second quarter. Underneath that is a bank shot by Risser right in front. That's her first 2. 33-10. Tie up at the other end. 15.9 left. It will be Lexington ball on the alternating possession.
You know, it's one thing about this Ashland team. Used to rely so much on Kennedy Lacey putting the rock in the goal, and they don't have to do that
Right.
now. You know, there's so many other girls that are playing major minutes and contributing in a major fashion here, and it allows her not to have a mega night every night out.
Yeah, it's a versatile attack. No question about that through the first 5 games. There's Lacey on a steal.
All the way, go.
Final seconds. Hoffman stops, tries to force it up, and it's blocked. Lacey for 3, might have been fouled, no whistle. And that does it for the first half here at Arrow Arena. 33-10. Ashland won that second quarter 13-2. And so another great defensive effort in the second quarter, allowing just a bucket.
Yeah, Ashland's clicking on all cylinders. You know, we said it in the pregame. It was Ashland to be themselves. They're doing that. Lex is at David versus Goliath. That's what it's turned out to be here. You know, one caution of concern, the Fickus injury report. We've got Cece Sturry on that. We haven't had that yet this year, so hopefully Cece's going to get a little treatment in there. And my guess is being up by 23 points, we probably don't see her the rest of the way. There's no reason to. You just let her rest and get healthy. And but other than that, little issue to pay attention to as we go forward here.
Yeah, great sign that they brought her back to the bench, so that is encouraging. We'll get our thoughts together here. We'll have some of the first half stats for you and some thoughts on what lies ahead in the second half as well. 33-10 Ashland here at halftime. We'll take this short timeout and be back with more on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Aero Arena. It is halftime, 33-10. Ashland leading the visiting Lady Lex. Lexington 0-4 on the season, 0-2 in conference play. Ashland the exact opposite, 4-0, and they are 2-0 in OCC play. Here are some of the first half scoring totals. Ashland had a 20-8 lead at the end of the first quarter, and 33-10 here at halftime. Madison Hoffman leading the way with 14 points for the Arrows. Grace Tobias had 8 points. Kennedy Lacey 9. Cam Cox 2 to round out the scoring in the first half. So 4 Ashland players in the scoring column. For Lady Lex, 3 players scored. 6 for Tatum Stover, the senior point guard, and 2 each for Lauren Risser and Sophia Brown. 2 points each, Risser and Brown, in addition to Stover's 6. This is the first of 2 meetings between Ashland and Lexington. They will get the return game over at Lexington on January the 21st. So that will be the next time these teams will see each other. The Arrows will play on Saturday at New Philadelphia. That will be their next game. That'll be a battle of the top 2 teams in the conference. And Lexington will play at West Holmes on Saturday. That will be a 1:30 start. 33-10 here at halftime. Rejoined here by Chris Mowry, and not a lot you can say. You know, we've kind of talked about it ad nauseum. Lexington, a rebuilding year under a first-year coach. You have to hand it to them. They definitely played hard in the first half, competed, got some good looks that would not go down, but they are certainly outmanned.
Yeah, they're very, very outmanned, David. You said it absolutely right, and it's factual. But, you know, the reality is when you get these lopsided contests, the thing that I pay attention to is it takes no talent to show heart. It takes no talent to show effort. It takes no talent to show attitude and the like. And this Lexington team's done just that. They haven't laid down, they haven't quit. So from my perspective, hat tip to them and those ladies and that coaching staff for keeping them engaged. Look, Coach David and her staff are coaching them still, you know, even though they're down 23 points. You know, so, you know, you find the positives, right? You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, the old analogy.
Yep.
And this Lexington squad, to get it turned around and get it back to, you know, being competitive is not going to happen overnight. So it's little baby steps. And you hear coaches talk about that all the time. It's, you know, put one foot in front of the other and all the other cliches that fall into sports.
Friends, this year when the Jazz Band performs, we'll bring it to you, and it'll be brought to you by Bill Harris Dealerships with locations in Ashland and Loudonville, from Chevrolet to Ford to Dodge to Jeep, and quality pre-owned vehicles as well. Bill Harris Dealerships is your one-stop shop. You know, and again, now you start to kind of go into that mode. You just want to get through this game, nobody else getting hurt.
Yeah.
And just get on to New Philadelphia on Saturday. That will be the big focus the rest of the week.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And a quick reminder to join us in the post-game show for the Janney post-game show, where we'll have, you know, complete recap, the Andrew Bush Law Office stat recap. We'll talk to the Truax Printing player of the game, head coach Renee Holt, and the like, and we'll break down action here. And, you know, David, you're absolutely right. That New Philly contest is going to be good. And obviously both teams are a good squad, and it would be good to go into that contest, even though we're not going to be bringing that one to all the viewers here, but to have a clean, you know, Ficus Furniture injury report.
All right, getting closer to the start of the third quarter. I think Ashland, I think they just announced Ashland will have the ball to start play.
Got cameraman Rich Sturry down there getting head coach Renee Holt and Jake Stimpert in the huddle there with the squad before we get back under action here in the second half.
Well, Renee's done a great job, as we've alluded to a number of times. 20 wins and a conference championship a year ago. What a great season that was. And just building on top of that with some great returning players, great core. And, you know, exactly what you want. That's how you build it over time. That's what Lexington and Abby David will be trying to do.
You mentioned Renee. She scored 2,305 points during her playing days at Crestview High School. Kennedy Lacey's got 820, let's say, at this point, somewhere in that range. Almost 3 times as many.
Just think of
unreal.
It's a crazy number. And I mean, you've got to work to get that many points.
And 820 through basically 2 seasons and 4 games is a crazy amount of points too.
Very talented players. So we're underway here in the third quarter. Kennedy Lacey will get some action here in the third. Ball knocked away on her way up, and now Hoffman, a little off the mark there.
Really good look though, David.
Sure
she had her shoulder square to the goal, looked good, nice arc, great rotation, just didn't go in.
They lost the ball on the way up, so Ashland will take over. Turnovers have been a problem for Lexington.
25 turnovers a contest, the Lexington averages.
They're probably going to hit that tonight. There's Hoffman again. Nice delivery from Van Tilburg. Lacey will dial up a 3 and got it.
Triple sauce for Kennedy Lacey. Book that one down. Nice job from the Mamba shooting it from beyond the arc.
So developing facet of her game. We'll try to go into Brown, and loose ball will end up under a pile of players.
Her dad, Kevin Lacey, over there says throw the flag, and he's right. It looks like more of a football play.
Yeah, I picked that up as well.
The defensive line coach for the Arrows. Did he look like he played D-line?
I bet he could.
All-American at AU.
Crack some heads. Jump stop in the lane, and the turnaround good by Lauren Risser. She has 4 points. 36-12. Nice pass to Lacey cutting down the lane. Left it a little short. Second effort, yes.
Number 12, Kennedy Lacey.
She has 14. 38-12. That's Hughes. Out of Wendling.
Like a double there, David.
Tobias pressuring the ball out near half court. 6:13 to go, third quarter. And I think they finally whistled the foul. So Tobias trying to play some pretty tight defense. Got the personal. Non-shooting foul, sideline inbound.
Tatum Stover, really, really good volleyball player. I believe she's going to go play volleyball in college next year.
Stolen away on a block shot, and Cox misses the layup. Hoffman has it, and Renee Holt says, let's set it up. Tobias attacking. Brown another rebound. Played much of the first half with 3 fouls.
That's one of those cases of point we were talking about with Lex not giving up and hanging their head. I mean, she to go Brown, that is, for 3, basically an entire half of playing with 3 fouls and not picking up that dreaded 4th. Is a testament to her and her maturity as a freshman, right? A freshman basketball player at the varsity level playing, the defending OCC champs and not picking up any more fouls. Pretty impressive.
Well, they got Cox on a push after she stole the ball, and that's her 3rd.
I need to stop talking about her staying out of foul trouble.
Her 3rd, so both post players have 3. Arlene Hughes gets it to Stover. Long pass up top. 3 ball not there for Risser. Lacey through traffic from 12, yes. Sweet 16 for Kennedy Lacey. 40 on the board for the Arrows.
Lacey leads all scorers now with 16.
Cox steps in front of the pass. She's headed up court. Stover back defensively. Blocked from behind by Brown. Lacey is fouled going up. I believe they will get Hughes. 21 on the foul. Lacey to the line for 2 shots. Connery Manufacturing bringing us all of our foul shots this year. Your wastewater equipment leader, locally owned for over 40 years. One more coming for Lacey, who just sort of gives out a big sigh after missing that one.
You have to record a point from the stripe tonight, David.
4:55 to go, third quarter. Wednesday night basketball here on the Arrows Broadcasting Network, presented by Sarver Paving.
I knew I could do it. If I said it enough, it was going to go in, and it did just there. 41-12, Ashland leads. Lacey was 17.
Stover got rid of it to avoid the double team. No good on the three, but the putback there for Brindley Learsman, her first basket. 41-14. It's a palindrome right now.
Reference not lost on me.
And Tilburg down low. It's Hoffman on the baseline. And Tilburg looking to get rid of it. Back to Hoffman.
Some coaching going on up here in the stands.
Brilliant. Time called by Renee Holt, so she will talk things over. Pretty good defense there by Lexington, forcing the Arrows over on the sideline. Our third quarter brought to you by Comfort Control. I have an entire post-game show planned for you coming up a little bit later with post-game reaction from coaches and players. Easy road so far for Ashland in this game. Really, if you go back to Saturday when they handled Worcester with somewhat of an easy effort. And they are 4-0, looking to go 5-0 by night's end and keep pace with New Philly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what we expected, right? You just run out of things to say to describe it because it's just been what we expected. Good defense, arms up in the passing lane, creating turnovers, hounding defense creates turnovers. You know, if we're going to be critical and look to, better themselves, right? When they look at film, it's transition layups, still a challenge, and it's foul shooting. Two things that are hard to replicate in game situations in practice because, you're going up for contested layups in practice. You don't want to pound your player, right, and take a risk of injury. But, two things that I think if the Arrows self-evaluate, they'll say we got to improve in these couple areas for sure.
And those could be big factors in close games, which they probably will have on Saturday. Hoffman for three, left corner, bingo.
Somebody finally in the second half other than Kennedy Lacey gets some points for the Arrows.
Jumper, Stover, way too strong. Long rebound comes out to Hoffman. 3:48 to go, third quarter. It's 44-14. Hoffman now with 17, and Lacey goes back in front. She has 19 now after that short jumper.
They dreaded over the inbound line. Arrow basketball.
Oh, she stepped on the baseline, Learsman.
She sure did.
Yep.
That'll be another turnover. We've noticed Cece Sturry not in the contest, right? She's the point guard normally for this Arrow squad. Arrows are lucky and fortunate to have really four young ladies who can handle the basketball. As you can see, Madison Hoffman getting smacked around there pretty good.
There's Tobias, one of those ball handlers. Got it to Lacey, and she scores with the right hand, 21.
Reached her season average of 21, has Kennedy Lacey with 3:22 to go in the third quarter.
Tobias dishing out some assists here in the third quarter. Jump stop, Risser. Turnaround not there. Lacey will gather in the board. They've got a lot of players that are kind of interchangeable on this squad. Lacey, no. Put back up and good by Bailey Harton. That's her first basket of the night. And Abby David will take a 30-second timeout. 50-14. Ashland on Saturday scored 59 against Worcester. So they're already at 50 here, 2:49 to go in the third.
It's one thing I'm sure that, Coach Holt and her brother, Coach Stempert, talk about is at what point do we stop working on what we want to work on and get our young girls playing time right in a meaningful conference game. But on the flip side, you want to keep going, and you don't want your girls to get rusty, and you want them in game action. It's early in the season one. Your toughest tilt is on Saturday in 3 days' time for the conference lead, let's be honest. And it's that 50-50 thing, damn if you do and damn if you don't to a point. So we'll see what head coach Renee Holt decides here. My guess is 2:49. They play the starters through the rest of the way. Probably a minute or two into the fourth quarter and then rest them. That would be my assumption.
Yep, that would be a prudent approach. Ashland showing a little full court pressure here. Stover will beat it with the dribble.
Oh, get it out.
Blocked by Cox.
Uh-oh.
And now Stover's shaken up.
Looks like her left lower leg area she was holding.
Well, they will have to take a look at Stover. Starting to get to a seated position. It was a pretty tough collision there. Blocked by Cox. Ball was out of bounds. I think they said it would be Lexington ball. Cox with the rejection. She's had some block shots this evening.
I'll tell you a story about a Stover. Happened inside Arrow Arena here. Rich Sturry, who's the cameraman tonight for us, we thank him for his efforts. But you'll remember Cade Stover. Rich is starting to shake his head yes, I think already. He knows where this story's going. So Lex is really good, Ashland's really good, and we've got stars all over the place. And Cade Stover's being recruited to Michigan and Ohio State. And my good friend Ed Fulton and I used to sit in that first row over there and right on enemy territory in the warm-ups, and Stover's going by, and he's a nice kid. And he's like, hey, man, and I'm like, hey, you know, any red-blooded Ohioan does not go to Michigan. And he said, no, sir, I will not be going to Michigan. And I said, well done, young man. So then the game starts, and Stover's going for a double-double, which seemed like he got that in the first half every contest. And he's single-handedly keeping his squad in this contest against Ashland, right? And Ashland shooting threes, kicking it down on the block, but Stover's just a man amongst boys, right? He goes to Ohio State to play football. You can understand. He was that good at basketball, too, in high school. Well, he goes up for a contested, and when I say contested, that's 3 guys underneath the goal here on the right side. And he gets a chiclet stuck in his head, right? So there's blood just spewing everywhere. Well, he runs off, and he's like, I don't know where to go. I'm at Ashland. It's not home. So he runs into the training room there. Now, a prudent trainer would forget their keys or forget where the medicine cabinet was or certainly forget the tape, right? Well, we bandage him up. He comes out like he just got in a 12-round issue with Mike Tyson, comes back and leads Lexington to overtime, right? After he's out for basically the third quarter. We end up pulling away in overtime, but nonetheless talks to the toughness of Cade Stover and what an athlete he was.
Well, they helped Stover over to the bench, and they're taking a look at her. Looked like her left ankle was the problem, and so she's out for the moment. Cox with the ball as we get back to action. It was Ashland ball after that injury timeout. Cox down low against Brown, left it short. Rebound, Hinder shot, bad pass, and a foul. It's going to go against maybe Hoffman.
Well,
that's her
not
first.
Sure how to call that one, David. That's interesting.
Those loose balls and players diving on the floor. Somebody always gets the foul. It doesn't seem like it should go against anyone.
Right. Let him play.
We hope the best for Stover. That's the worst news that Abby David could get.
Yeah, no question about it.
Already a depleted roster. Wendling lost it. Hinder shot. Kaya gives it over to Van Tilburg. Tobias up top. Skip pass. Hinder shot to Tobias. 1:21 to go, third quarter. Ashland in control of this game. On our Simonson scoreboard, 50-14.
Good job of the Arrows moving around, looking for a good shot. They found one. Van Tilburg from the corner for 3, no good, but the Arrows with another offensive rebound.
Yep. Good shot, gets it back under control. It's Bailey Hartman, entry pass. Cox, short. Sophia Brown down with the rebound. With Stover out, Cox is really, or pardon me, Brown is really their top scoring threat. Long jumper not there by Learsman. We're under a minute to go now, 39 seconds. Tobias picked up by Reese. Cox, and now Tobias underneath, off the glass, down the hatch it goes.
Grace Tobias is not afraid to do the dirty work, David. She get in there, mix it up, her 5'3" frame, and get in there and battle, and does a great job of backside cut to the goal. And there's one where she found the basketball, able to lay it off the glass.
10 for her. Give Cox the assist. And that one deflected out of bounds. 4 seconds left. They didn't stop the clock. It's going to go off here. It'll be, or are they just going to say that's it?
Score after 3 quarters of play.
They never stopped the clock there, so we're at the end of 3. And I think, you know, on a night like this, they say, yeah, let's move forward. 52-14 your score after 3 quarters. We'll get fourth quarter play-by-play going after we pause here from Aero Arena on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network.
Winners tonight for your Ashland High School girls basketball drawing. $10 winner Don Butler. $25 winner Joy Waltman. And the $50 winner Connor Crumpleton. Checks are at the table.
Well, we go on to the fourth quarter here, and just a little learning on the fly here. We were reminded that in a lopsided game like this, if it exceeds 35 points, we go to the running clock in the second half.
Yeah,
it's very similar to football.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why those last few seconds ticked away. So this will...
I see no issue with that rule.
Not at all. Now this one will be over in short order. Hoffman goes to Lacey. Cox backing down low. Back to Kennedy and missed the shot. Tobias back to Hoffman. Van Tilburg fires a pass to Tobias. Running right-hander, no. Lacey misses. And a fight for the rebound. I think we'll get an on-the-back foul against Kennedy Lacey. So the Arrows could not get the bucket down the hatch. Fourth quarter brought to you by Comfort Control. Looks like your prediction might be right, Chris. The starter's in for the initial minute or so of the fourth quarter.
Not surprised. I mean, it's early in the season. Had this been, you know, mid-January, I don't think you see this, but early in the campaign, you want your girls to be able to, you know, log as many minutes as possible. And, you know, look, you could be in a position where you're looking at Josie Van Tilburg playing Saturday. We don't know, right? Because of CC Sturry, she may get the start. And, you know, Coach Holt and staff probably said, hey, let's get Josie out there and get her some time with the starters. Nice
Cox,
move.
yes.
Nice move. Cameron Cox, little shake and bake up off the goal, and 2 more for her.
54-14. 4 for Cox, but she's had an all-around good game tonight. Van Tilburg on the run out to the right side, and the bank shot is good. And Tilburg with her first basket. She's in the scoring column. 56-14. This is a 15-0 run by the Arrows. It's another one of those games tonight, Chris, when we get to the turning point of the game, it will just be
the tip
showing
off.
up.
The tip-off.
Yep.
You liked that last game, didn't you?
I thought it was well crafted.
I keep crafting the same way, I think, until we have one of these games where it's tight. We're going to have a line change here, as suspected, under 6 minutes to go, and Coach Holt has 4 ladies at the Sid Sud substitution station.
So Hartman and Hendershot, Ediger, and O'Brien all in. 'Cox still in. 5:24 on the clock, 56-14. Ashland, second shot is good. That is Risser, who now has 5 points.
Mr. Archer in the crowd, as dapper as ever, in an eagle purple top along with that orange and black hat.
Great man. Ediger. Out of Cox. Crossover dribble into the lane. Blocked by Brown. Cox got it back. Second effort, no. Kaya Hendershot with the rebound. Cox the turnaround and the left-hand shot blocked. Brown has recorded a couple of blocks, but Ashland still with the ball. That one way off the glass, no. Kylie Murfield is checked in. She's a freshman guard for Lexington, so she's into the ball game now. Stover is still on the sideline, I think, with some ice on that ankle.
Murfield thought that was her dribbling out of the bounds. She was ready to go back the other way, but the official saw it differently.
Get it underneath, but Risser fell, and jump ball finally called. Clock continues to run here. We have 4:09 to go. Runaway lead for Ashland. We're going to get a sub in here. I believe that'll be Emma Puckett. Puckett, the junior, did not play on Saturday. And that's it for Cam Cox. Risser at three-point range for Lady Lex. And she'll drive in. Jump stop, no on the shot. They'll keep it on the Lexington end. Wendling handling the ball. Get it to Murfield. Underneath Brown. Off the glass, no. Got her own miss. Stripped away and out of bounds. She was the last to touch it.
Our training staff going to take Tatum Stover a set of crutches and some ice. So nice gesture here by the hometown Arrows and looking after a player here for Lady Lex.
Marley Henderson, the sophomore, is in for Ashland. So I believe that gets pretty much everyone in the game that is on the varsity scorebook. They'll get it into her. Henderson trying to kick it back out. It's stolen away and stolen right back by O'Brien. Kaya Hendershot, 2:40 to go, and get a player control foul to Hendershot there on the push. Well, again, as we have talked about, Chris, it's sort of every game is a chapter. This is just another one that they'll turn the page, get ready for the next game. This was a game that the Arrows were supposed to win. They came out, took care of business tonight. Now it's on to New Philly, and there's another big collision, and Hendershot is shaken up.
I see what you did there, Bob Seeger. We'll turn the page. We'll keep stacking them, and the Arrows, as you mentioned, get ready for New Philly. And our next broadcast, give us a minute here, and the stoppage of play will be next Wednesday, 12/17. We're getting right there towards Christmas time, and we'll have the Madison Rams welcoming them in here to Arrow Arena, and we'll find out if Ashland's in the lead of the OCC when that broadcast comes on, and that reference is on Saturday evening between the Quakers and Arrows. That battle will be down in New Philly.
Madison had a home game tonight against Senior. I don't know the score in that game, but Senior came in 0-4. Foul win against Hendershot on that collision. It's her third. .156 to go. They're still talking about the foul call. It's going to send Brown to the line. Third team foul against Ashland. The clock does stop on foul shots. So Sophie Brown still trying to get the scorebook in sync with what was called.
Guys, it's a 41-point
Yeah, let's
lead.
go. Let's write down a number and move along. Brown has not scored a field goal tonight.
There are no Vegas odds on who that foul was on, I'll promise you that.
Shot is good.
Reminder to hang with us here in the postgame for the Janney postgame show. We'll have Truax Printing Player of the Game, Madison Hoffman, join us. We'll hear from head coach Renee Holt, and we'll give you the Bo Lacey Construction turning point of the game. I'll let the cat out of the bag. That was the tip-off, folks. As soon as we tipped this one off, this contest was over. And the play of the game, I'm going to let my partner, David Wilson, decide the play of the game. I have it, if you don't.
Okay.
I'm going with plural, but you go ahead.
Shot by Campbell O'Brien. Rims out.
And folks, just so you know, I did put him on the spot there.
You have to think about this a little bit. Chris, what do you got?
I'm going plural. I'm going back-to-back charges for C.C.
Okay.
Sturry. That's
Yep.
what I'm going. The plays of the game presented by Bo Lacey Construction. Experience you can trust, done right on time.
57-18 as O'Brien hits 1 out of 2. Under a minute to go. I think maybe I would have, if not those 2 charges, which I think is excellent, excellent choice. Probably a couple of the Madison Hoffman threes.
Yeah, they were big. And her shot, you know, we talked about this when it was live action, just looked so good. It looked pure today, right? You know, her shoulders were square on every attempt. That ball came off the fingertips nice and great rotation. And when she didn't make it, the best compliment you can give a shooter, when they're not going in, they look like they're going in.
Shot up and good on both by Risser, so she has 7. 10 seconds to go. Hendershot has the ball, 57-20, and that will likely be the final score as we're down to just 2. O'Brien, pass deflected, and it is over. 57-20. The Arrows prevail over the Lexington Lady Lex this evening here at Arrow Arena. 21 for Kennedy Lacey and 17 for Maddie Hoffman. Our post-game show, brought to you by Janney, is coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll have plenty of post-game reaction for you. Chris will have some interviews with Renee Holt and Maddie Hoffman as well. So please stay tuned. We'll rejoin you right around the corner here on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network. We welcome you back to our live coverage of Ashland basketball. It's all brought to you by Sarber Paving here on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network. Final score, 57-20. Our Arrows postgame show and interviews brought to you by Janney and Mansfield. Financial advice from experienced people you can trust. Check out our cameraman, Rich Story, at Janney.com for all of your financial needs.
He did a great job, too.
Yeah, that was a great job. We appreciate his help, and Garth Boyd. Wish all the best to Brandon Gunder, who is a little under the weather tonight. And so it was a team effort, just like it was with the national anthem tonight.
Absolutely.
A team effort, and we got it done.
Well done.
Let's move into the post-game stat recap. It's brought to you by your hometown law leader, law offices of Andrew Bush, located right here in Ashland. Scoring recap, 21 for Kennedy Lacey. Madison Hoffman close behind, 17 points, and Grace Tobias in double figures with her season high of 10 points. Josie Van Tilburg had 2. Campbell O'Brien hit a late free throw. Bailey Hartman 2 points. Cam Cox 4, which is deceiving. She really controlled the paint tonight. Didn't let Brown go off, and cleaned up, like she said Saturday, did the dirty work, got some loose balls on the floor. A great game for Cameron Cox again this evening. For Lexington, 7 for Lauren Risser, 6 for Tatum Stover, who was shaken up late in the game, 5 for Sophia Brown, and 2 for Brindley Leeserman. They were undermanned tonight, started with 8 actives, finished the game with 7 because of Stover's injury. Lexington drops to 0-5, 0-3 in conference play. And Ashland just the opposite, 5-0 and 3-0 in OCC play. Just a great game tonight for the Arrows from start to finish. So we're awaiting our post-game guest, Chris, but just some thoughts on kind of how this played out tonight.
Yeah, it was really good. You know, like we said, you know, the reality was let's get this thing tipped off, underway, and unless something wild happened, we thought we knew what the outcome was, and ultimately we did. And our player of the game, our Truax Printing player of the game, is none other than Madison Hoffman.
All right, looks like Maddie is
Congrats.
set. Chris, take it away.
Thank you.
Yeah, your shot looked great tonight. Like every time, your shoulders were square, your body was at the goal, and it looked good coming out of your hand.
Thank you.
Did it feel good?
Yeah, it felt great.
All right, can you turn her up a little bit?
I think so.
She's quiet right now. You're usually louder than this. Well, the Truax Printing player of the game, Truax Printing, your full-service commercial printing source in Ashland and Loudonville, truaxprinting.com. Tell me about the decision about becoming a Raider. I know you wanted to go to college, you wanted to play sports, you're going to get that opportunity, not only basketball, but softball as well.
Yeah. It was a long road, that's for sure. The one thing about Union like stuck out to me is like the atmosphere I stepped on campus, I knew right then and there, and then the opportunity to get to play both sports. That was something I couldn't pass down. It was like, that's what I've grown up doing, playing both. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had offers for both, and I just said, you know what, if they're going to give me the opportunity to play both, I'm going to go at it and give it the best I got.
Yeah, so what are you going to study that's going to allow you the time to play two sports?
You know what, people call me crazy, but I'm here for it. I'm going to go into nursing, so.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's going to go into nursing. She's going to Ashland University next year. And my son's school, current school, Camden, goes to John Carroll, and they just took care of business against the Raiders in the second round of the playoffs. Do you know that?
Yeah, well, we'll get them next time.
Well, you don't play them unless it's the postseason now because it's the OAC versus the NCAC.
Yep.
But great game tonight. You know, the one thing we were talking about, and David chime in here, but the balance, and we talked about Cam Cox last game too, but the balance scoring, you're not relying on just you, for instance, or Kennedy, for instance, but it's a collective team effort. And you guys are getting points all the way around. You're getting loose balls from everybody, rebounds from everybody. You guys seem to be clicking all the way around.
Yeah, that's one thing this year is like different about us. Like we play all together. We've played together since we were little, and like that starting five is like huge. And even coming off the bench, like we all have this chemistry with each other that we know like we got to go out there and play our best and be aggressive. If we're aggressive, the rest will play to our level. So and call calls that we want, not baby calls.
Yeah.
So we got to go out there and play aggressive.
Madison, I kind of just noticed you guys are kind of interchangeable parts, and no one is really quote-unquote a three-point shooter. People can step out, shoot the three if they need. You can drive to the basket. How does Coach Holt try to instill that in you guys just in terms of being able to kind of take what's given to you?
Yeah, well, a big thing, she's like, swing it, next pass. Like, we all know we can shoot the ball. We all know that we have that capability, but we have to know, like, what's the right time? When do we do that? And she's really taught us this year, like, one more pass, and it's wide open every time. And, we've just really worked on that in practice, and we've nailed it. I think we got it down.
Well, I will tell you this. The one thing that is going to make your coaches happy is that when the players are repeating what the coaches are saying to them.
That's right, yep.
And Coach Holt says all the time, one more, give it one more, backside help on defense, and you know all the things she says,
right.
And she says them to us in the post games. And not only you, but Kennedy and Cameron and Grace, and everybody repeats the same thing. So the message is together, and the squad is like a team. It's a real team, which is really awesome. So you don't see that very often. So, congratulations. You're the Truax Printing player of the game. You get an Applebee's gift card. You're welcome. One more question. Who are you taking with you?
Myself.
Just you?
I mean, like, I'll probably go with a group of people, but.
You're just going to use it.
Yeah, for myself.
Smart. Right there. Smart.
I think she's the second player that is.
Cameron Cox?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Cam said the same thing.
Yeah.
She's going to go with somebody, but she's going to use it all for herself.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I have one shout out.
Yeah.
I got T-Bone.
Shout out. Shout out for T-Bone?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. We'll hear about that off air.
All right.
All right, sounds good. Congratulations.
Thank
We'll
you
be
so
right
much.
back with
Yeah.
Renee Holt right after this short break.
Thank you very much.
Well, as long as we're still on camera, we might
Might
as
as
well
well
just
say something. It does look a little odd when we're sitting here.
cat's out of the bag. If we're just sitting here.
Microphone, Renee sees it. You think I ought to tell her she was the second best player in the gym tonight? Maybe not.
Player of the game, delivered by Truax Printing, your full-service commercial printing source in Ashland and Loudonville. That's Truax Printing. Arrows.com. Chris, take it away with the coach.
Well, the coach of the game is brought to us by nobody, but she's here, and congratulations, 5-0, 3-0 in the OCC. You did me well. You took care of business against you-know-who. We wish Tatum Stover the best. We wish CC Sturry the best, right, as they got a little dinged here tonight. But, hey, man, a great win. Win by 37 is a good take.
We hate Lex, don't we?
Yeah, well.
No, it was a good win. Good team win.
Yeah.
And I think it was a perfect time that we gelled together before this big game Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Bob Archer here to watch. I don't know if he thought it was going to be an AU old-time game here inside Air Arena. Jody Johnson was here watching, you, the point guard, the shooter, but he was very excited. I saw him in between, and you got to love the support from the community, not only the community, but Mr. Archer in general.
Well, who doesn't love the win?
Yeah,
Winning
right?
is contagious.
Sure is.
So, and it's fun. And you see that on our bench. You see that on the floor. The girls are having fun.
The one thing that we've talked about now twice, and Madison Hoffman said the same thing, and Cameron Cox said the same thing last Saturday. But Madison, when you watch this back, she's going to say the same thing. You're going to think it was you. But they're saying all these things that you say to them in practice. And I've commented now on it twice to both of our Trex Printing Player of the Games. One more pass and backside defense and all these things. So whatever you guys are saying and how you're saying it in practice, and you've had these girls for a little bit of time now, it's really the message is there. And that's got to, winning's great and right, but it's all the things that go in to build the recipe to win. And it seems like your squad's got that.
I don't have to speak it to everyone on the team now because they speak it to each other.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to see. That's growth in, not only the girls individually, but the program as a whole. It's a whole culture shift. And it's cool to hear that, the girls are talking.
Yeah.
They're talking. I'm just proud of them.
Well, Renee, you guys jumped out to a 14-3 lead. And what did you talk to them about just going into this? Make sure, and you know the situation, and they did too, with the lower numbers and the records. Get them ready to play, get through this so you're ready for Saturday. But you guys still had to take care of business tonight. Very, very good performance.
Going into this game, I told them we have to focus on us. What can we do great and play at our level, okay? When we get into some of these games, sometimes it gets sloppy. Play at our level and play Ashland basketball.
Last question for you before we let you go. I'm sure your little guy's ready for bed, ready to get those guys to sleep. Just forecast the New Philly game. Obviously the biggest game that we're going to have yet to date, right, on Saturday evening down in New Philly. What do you expect from the Quakers? Not sure if they won or lost tonight. They had Dover, but assume they won. What are you looking for Saturday night?
Two big undefeated teams going at each other. They got us at home last year, and we learned a lot. We grew, but we worked. We worked in the postseason. We worked in the offseason. We worked in the preseason, and their girls are excited. So what a great opportunity for us to go down and show them how much we've grown, since they beat us last.
Sounds good. Head coach Renee Holt of the victorious Ashland Arrows ladies basketball squad, 5-0. Overall, 3-0 inside the OCC. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Renee Holt joining us here. She always does after every game. We appreciate her comments. Big win tonight for the Arrows. Turning point of the game, we mentioned it earlier. That was when the Arrows showed up. It's brought to you by Bo Lacey Construction. Experience you can trust, done right, on time. And, boy, what a night. And now New Philly waiting in the wings. Home game next Wednesday night, but just 5-0 sounds pretty good, Chris.
Sounds great. It's exactly what we forecasted would happen, we thought would happen. It's come to reality, but, look, let's be honest. The toughest game on the schedule is Saturday night. We'll see what this Arrow squad looks like right now and as they get ready to do battle with the Quakers.
All right, great job tonight, Chris.
Thanks,
we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
All right, thanks to Rich Sturry again, our cameraman, helping us out, and Garth Boyd getting us all set up tonight. It was a team effort. We appreciate everybody's help. Again, your final score tonight, it was Ashland 57 and Lexington 24. Chris Mallory, it's David Wilson now saying goodbye. We'll join you again next Wednesday night for more Ashland Arrows basketball as the ladies will entertain Mansfield-Madison in a 7 o'clock game. You've been watching Arrows basketball on the Arrows Broadcasting Network, presented by Sarber Paving.